Oh, hello there, Site42 staff, as well as those of you from the greater SCP community. As always, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director of Site42, and welcome to another Coffee Break with Dr. Sherman, a subsidiary of the Anomalous broadcast from Site42. First off, Bunny Lover, America, Junior Researcher, Alex, Senior Researcher, Frogman, Leaf, Chaos Goblin Dogs, Hunter Parker, Sheeny, Retro, Junior Researcher Sally, Drowsy, Pinky and Anna, all of you, good to see you in the chat. Thank you for being members. Meanwhile, Topaz, Kaisha, Forest Eyes, Avory, and Agatha. Good to see you guys, just for being you. Oh, let me get the proper music playing in the backdrop. And hello! 1 second, let me grab my coffee cup. All right, coffee cup is here. So, while I pour my coffee from my thermos, the first question I see a lot of you guys having is, hey, what's up with your hair, dude? So, number one, I like to color my hair every once in a while. I get it done for certain reasons other than just having fun. And traditionally, you've seen a lot of my old green hair from a previous lifetime in a previous dimension. You've seen the green hair in my videos recently. And I saw that and I said, you know what? I haven't done that in a while. So I went and I got the peacock theming done. Turquoise, purple, and blue. And so it is in honor of Delightful. Just living life, peacocking all day long. You gotta show off your pride. You gotta be confident in who you are. You gotta squawk for high heaven. Which, if you've never seen a peacock in person, that is the sound they make. I got weirdly good at making that sound because our training site for our theater stage combat Ren Fair was a location that had peacocks on site. It was an entire endeavor trying not to mess with them. So yes, we're just having fun. I'm traveling with the summer, and so let's go and have a good time with it. I got tired of the silver fox angle I was going at for a bit. I decided to change it up. And so we're just having fun. We're having fun here. Everyone judge this man. He just did a peacock mating call. It wasn't a mating call. I am annoyed and asexual that you would say just a thing. It was just a standard call. Standard call. That's all. Harumph. I will make sure to tell the stylist at the on-site hair salon that you all approve of the work she did. Mary does great work. Now, I see some donos coming in. Let me get those before I lose them. Sheeny, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. And right now, you are the #1 ranked chatter, because apparently that's what YouTube wants us to do now. Chat experience points. That's really going to bring them back, YouTube. Thank you. Grab yourself a hot toddy on your way past the commissary. Gotta give props to the hair. Love that collar combo. Well, thank you kindly. And Drowsy, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a Italian soda on your way past the commissary. Is the new hair for MetroCon? Sort of. It's just a nice summer do. It's just a nice summer do. What's your t-shirt? Intern Smith, this is an SCP-049 t-shirt. It used to be Site42 merch until our Site42 shop, until that took down the, what's the phrase I'm looking for? it took down the design because it didn't fit the specifications. So I'm working on some new merch because it took away a bunch of our old merch. But I'm wearing this to show respect for our first SCP Site 42 merch. How does this man do his hair? Epsilon 5, the on-site stylists are incredibly talented. You just got to show them an SCP that you want an SCP hairdo of, and they got you covered. And in the case of this one, I just had to request the SCP-4396. You see, SCP-4396 is a large peacock that appears malnourished and decrepit. It is completely desaturated in color, completely down to like almost black and white, and it is missing a tail feather. And what ends up happening is this tail feather manifests in front of some random person somewhere in the world, and this peacock will go immortal snail on that person, and it will hunt down the person with the peacock feather, and it will bother them until they give the peacock feather back to the peacock. At which point the peacock will gain its color back, it will get healthy looking again, and then the person who gave the peacock its feather back happens to recover a lost object of some sort. In this case, in the interview log, well, I'm not going to spoil it. You can go read the article yourself for SCP-4396. Codename, The Joy of Completion. Sheeny, I got a peacock feather in my house. Well, did it randomly appear there, or did you pick it up on purpose? The key to knowing if it's the proper peacock feather, by the way, is throwing it away, because the peacock feather from SCP-4396 cannot be disposed of naturally. You can't throw it away. You can't get rid of it by any means. It just sticks with you. So yes, if you want to give 4396 a read, it's a rather short story, but it's a good one. And it's SC Peacock related. What happens to your hair? Well, I got it did. I got my hair did, everyone. It looks good. It looks fine. Enjoy it. Revel in the bask in the majesty. Are you basking? Bask. Bask more. Bask. Who is it chasing? 4396 chases whoever has the feather. Right now, we are following 4396, but it's in its dormant phase. So it is fully peacockified. It is currently not without a tail feather, but it always resets the cycle and starts again. It has that anomalous immortal snail ability to escape any prison. Therefore, it's a keter. It will move on eventually. We've just got to track it and take care of the scenario. Thick thigh enjoyer. It was peacocks. Peacocks, not the second syllable alone. Peacocks, the bird. The bird. I feel like this could have been answered, but do you pre-record video uploads? I've seen your hair change in mid-upload schedule, then change the next video instantly. Yes, there are a bunch of videos from a backlog. On one hand, we have fresh videos. On the other hand, we have videos that we're taking over from TikTok that were never dropped on YouTube, and we're moving those over as well since TikTok is so life or death or life or death. So we're making sure that archive is preserved over here as well. But I like to say that it's just multiple universes, different pataphysical levels. You know, there's all sorts of anomalous things going on in the SCP-verse, so maybe it's time travel. Who knows? Will you ever play a D&D campaign on YouTube? Intern Jensen? It's not out of the possibility. I would just need the right players and situation. I'm not committing to it, but I'm not saying it's impossible. The green hair is from 2022, if I recall properly. Maybe. Either 21 or 22. I don't remember exactly. Greetings, Dr. Sherman. How do you know you caught all the SCPs? We don't, and we're for sure not containing all of them. That's why we're always adding entries to the database. There's no way that we got all of them. I mean, we already have, at least in my universe alone, over 8,000 of them. And by the way, I don't know if you guys know this. If you were over on the text social medias, Threads, Blue Sky, and Twitter, you may have seen an announcement from me. It turns out through the grapevine from the contest staff of the SCP Wiki that so many entries were submitted for Classicon that they are moving up the 9K contest. 9K contest is starting in the next month or two because we're already almost out of slots in the 8,000s. There's so many SCPs. And so, prepare yourselves. 9Con is coming. Be ready. Woo! What a world. Dr. Sherman is an SCP because of how anomalously handsome he is. Cosmic, I gotta stop you right there. While I appreciate the compliment, gladly I do. I cannot, in good faith, go forward saying that I myself is an SCP. I am not anomalous at all. I'm just the standard amount of handsome for a normal run-of-the-mill human site director, completely non-anomalous in every way, on top of which, yes, I do in fact have a pen that is also non-anomalous. Not anomalous at all. No special powers in this pen. Just a normal everyday pen and a normal everyday pen spinner. Hand to 5320. Hand to 5320. He is lying through his teeth. Okay, it's impossible to lie anywhere except from your teeth because your mouth is there in their teeth. So that doesn't even make sense. You're not even making sense right now. Unless you can pull like an Ace Ventura and talk through your hindquarters. Then you could be lying out your ass instead of lying through your teeth. That is a different way to lie. Unless you have teeth in your... Never mind. I'm done with this line of logic. Ugh. Have you made the tree scream yet or not? I want to know. My answers are not clear. Intern Quinones, the tree has not screamed yet. But 4521 will scream. It will. It will. It will. So don't you worry. We're working up some really good tests. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. If you use sign language, you can lie through your fingers. See? Professor Nil knows what's going on. Sheeny, thank you for donating again. If someone has teeth in their behind, they definitely going in the box. Amen that. Amen that. I'm sure there's a teeth variant of SCP-1048 that, you know, the ear bear made ears grow all over people's bodies. I'm sure a teeth bear would do something similar, something upsetting. Ugh. Yeah, there's a teeth growing anomaly that makes teeth grow where they're not supposed to. How many teeth-related anomalies will there be? Teeth. Dental. All right. Oh, the search cloud is fixed. Okay, there are 29 anomalies on the SCP Wiki tagged as dental. Which one is the one where horrible teeth grow in places where teeth shouldn't grow? No. Generalization for a set of phenomena discovered in the dental laboratory. Grown on the body outside of the oral environment as a result of the application of 1994-1. SCP-1994-1 is a serum that makes teeth grow where they should not grow. And so, okay, prepare yourselves. This is gonna get ugly. Chippity Dippity, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. When did you dye your hair? I like it. It looks cool. Well, thank you, Anonymous. I dyed it this morning. Oh my God. I was supposed to get it done Thursday of last week, but I developed COVID. And so I bumped it over to this week and got it done before my trip, thankfully. Now, all right, be careful. Incoming warning. Pictures of teeth where there should not be teeth. SCP-1994. This person has the serum on their wrist and they're growing teeth out of their wrist. This person has teeth growing out of their thumbnails and fingernails. I really don't like teeth growing out of people's finger and thumbnails. Are there any more pictures? No, thank God. Thank 5320 specifically that there are no more teeth pictures. Ugh, hate that. Sheeny, thank you for donating twice again. Much obliged. Do not give Builder Bear any ideas. Amen that. By the way, how are you feeling? I gotta say, I am 99%. I woke up and my headache was finally gone. My cough seems to be mostly gone. Still a little bit funnily enough, if I hum, it tickles my throat somehow and makes me cough. But mostly okay. I'm feeling alive again. Hallelujah. I'm feeling alive again. Gemini, thank you for your first and second donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a bratwurst on your way past the commissary. Boss, are we still on for that pizza party later? Yes, Gemini, I did get 458 requisition for the commissary, so the pizza party starts after shift tonight. The day shifters will want to come after shift. The night shifters will want to come before shift. That's when the pizza party is, at the transition point. Silver Runner, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a jelly donut on your way past the commissary. Sherman, what's that mirrored room you filmed in? That is my Stakeout location. Very often there's certain anomalies and groups of interest that hang out in this one particular neighborhood off Site 42's campus. And so I drive over there and I have know a guy who knows a guy who gets me in this place. And I'm able to camp out there and keep an eye on any targets we have in the locale. Usually they're going there for either food because it's a good restaurant district, or because they know a guy who can get them a thing or an anomaly or a transport for another anomaly. So I gotta watch out the business deals sometimes. If we get 50 gifted memberships this stream, Clef will record prize people. Okay, buddy. If you want to record prize people, that's a good article. It's a damn fine article. I'd hate to hear Clef being completely entertained by it the entire time. But if the chat wants that, then they can donate memberships to make that happen. Dr. Sherman, I'm back. I looked up when the green hair was. It started March 2021. That sounds about right, Junior Researcher Alex. Good research. Excellent researching, actually. Doing what we're here to do. Researching. That's how I like it. Junior Researcher Alex, you deserve a promotion. Congratulations to Senior Researcher Alex. Of course, that's only if you accept the promotion, which you would have to change your name for. So that's up to you there. Question, how do you tell if a cat is anomalous? The way you determine anything is anomalous is it doing things that are not normal? Is it floating? Is it eating non-edible foods? Is it able to walk through walls? I don't know. Is the cat doing something anomalous? That's what you need to tell me. OMG, your hair looks awesome. Thank you, Amber. Much obliged. I got the, instead of doing the 2 silver streaks, we went with the turquoise and the purple with the blue at the bases. Sheeny, thank you for donating 10 Site 42 memberships. Very generous to go toward Clef's goal. Desk, you better be keeping track of that goal, by the way. If you are getting a sponsorship from Sheeny, make sure you thank Sheeny for her generosity. I'm drawing your new haircut, Doc. I look forward to it, Sally. What is the scariest SCP? Well, Gamer Squad 0, thank you for being a member. I believe, for me anyways, 2718 is by far the scariest. If that's real, we are all screwed. Hate that for us. So, yeah, keep an eye on that, and fingers crossed what happens after does not actually happen. Ugh. Oh no, I have to update your character of mine. I gotta fix the hair. Ah, yes. I mean, you could just say it's from another timeline, because the hair's gonna change again eventually anyways. You never know what's gonna happen with that. This is what happens when an actor gets the freedom of their own platform. It means that you don't have to keep yourself looking the very same as your headshot. So we get to have some fun. Get to have some fun. Double tap the screen, folks. That's right. Intern McMahon Watson is correct. Hit that like button. You are currently 2/3 of the way from more likes than viewers, so hit that like button and let's make it. You're more older looking than I last heard of you on the whole floating hand spider thing. Yup. Sometimes we change in age, and that's all right, as long as you don't lose your heart. Grundar, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. No, that's not what happened. Thank you for becoming a Site 42 subscriber. We appreciate your service. Awesome videos either way. Well, thank you kindly. Does the SCP Foundation work with the Enclave Department of the government? Typically, the SCP Foundation does not work with government entities. We have spies within government entities, that's for sure. But we don't normally cooperate with them. We just kind of handle things ourselves. And so, with that being the case, instead, more likely, we would actually partner from with the Brotherhood of Steel, because they're much more focused on keeping anomalies out of the hands of the public. So the Brotherhood of Steel is much better friends than the Enclave, to be honest. Angel Chobat, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself some street tacos on your way past the commissary. Hello, Dr. Sherman. Hello, Angel Chobat. Have you talked to Dr. Blue recently? Unfortunately, Jin, I haven't. Although it's not for lack of any animosity, or it's not because of any animosity of anything. It's more that Dr. Blue seems to be very much in his dinosaur era, and so has been on hiatus from the Foundation. But always cool for Dr. Blue. If you enjoy that sort of thing, check out Dr. Blue's stream, or Starboy Blue's stream, Dinosaur Blue's stream. Nakamwe. Is the SCP Wiki a fake to cover the real Foundation? Well, that depends on what universe you're in. In some Foundation universes, the Wiki is nothing but a creepypasta website. In some universes, it is in fact counter-intel, convincing people that everything we do is a hoax, that way they don't get suspicious, hide in plain sight and all that. But that is a coin flip, depending on what universe you end up with. Obviously, in my universe, it's real, but it might not be real in yours. Or the Hateful Star, When Day Breaks, 076, the girl, I think. 076 is not the girl. And the parasitic sunworm thingy related. If they are, I don't know, because I don't know what the parasitic sunworm thingy is. I know I've heard the Hateful Star and When Day Breaks are caused by opposite entities. So they're related in that they are against each other. And I don't know what you meant by 076, since that isn't a girl, that's Abel. Epsilon 5, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a cold one on your way past the commissary. Also, update on clicking a month ago, just my neck. Update on clicking a month ago, just my neck. Well, stick with medical, and I hope that they fix that for you. What's your favorite SCP? Intern Larry, I always tell you my favorite SCPs at the end of stream. It's kind of a tradition around these parts. Now, today's stream could go anywhere from 1 to 2 hours, depending on how I'm feeling. I still got to take it easy, so I'm not going for the full 3 hours today. Still got to rest, and I also got to pack for my travel. I'm leaving Friday. Thankfully, I'm negative of COVID. So, yes, short stream today. But if you want to cheat and see my favorite SCPs early, you can always go back to yesterday's stream, because I do it at the end of every stream as a tradition, so you can do it the cheater's method if you like. Angel Chobat, thank you for donating again, and becoming the #1 ranked chatter, I guess. I don't know what qualifies you to be a #1 ranked chatter now, but that's what the YouTube leaderboard says, and apparently YouTube wants us to know about that for some reason, I guess. Tongue Stealers. Oh, Tongue Stealers. That was quite a Classicon entry tomorrow. And don't forget, we are going to do another Classicon entry today very soon. Our Classicon reading will be happening. So be ready for that. How old are you? Sorry to be rude. Intern Elswick, I am a ripe 38 years old, turning 39 on the 3rd of August. YouTube stealing from Twitch on that leaderboard mess. Oh, is this a thing Twitch does? I honestly never use Twitch, except to sometimes crash Desk stream to show that I exist. So, okay, cool. I'm from the Site42 birthday live. Do you remember me? Well, I remember the captain as a username. I don't remember what you said that day, but I do remember your user handle. Starbricks, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a shepherd's pie on your way past the commissary. How will the Foundation go about containing the flood from Halo? Well, the flood really has to be just what caused them to come in the first place? Halo. Wasn't there a signal that summoned them or something? It's a parasitic organism. Combat, forms, key mines. Fungal zombie, yup. I mean, the real key here is we're going to have to do whatever the team in Halo did, because they didn't die. So if I just read you the plot summary of Halo, the biggest problem is that because there's such a wide infestation, we wouldn't be able to merely contain them, which means we would have to team up with the Global Occult Coalition and other groups of interest to repel the flood. And it would turn out a lot like the game in that sense. That's about the best we could do with something that vast. The containment method would be stopping it from being summoned to our universe in the first place. Once we stopped containing it via that because that failed, that's when we have to team up and kick its ass. I really thought he was 29. Thank you, Intern Elswick. I appreciate it. It's the physical activity, the Foundation Fitness Initiative. And I've been teaching dance for 20 years. So when you stay active, it keeps you young. Also, moisturize and wear sunscreen. That helps a lot too. Lemon, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself an espresso lemonade on your way past the commissary. What experiment would you run if you knew O5 and ethics would approve it? Also, your site's commissary has way better food options than mine. Oh, nice. Yeah, grab something extra from the commissary if you need it. We do have one of the better stocked commissaries, since we have to deal with SCP-3999-J. Godspeed, Researcher Talaran, on containing that Keter entity. And by the way, there I was speaking about SCP-3305, Bread Jesus, when I said Godspeed, because I want to make sure that Researcher Talaran and their subcontractor researchers all have enough food and drinks to keep that Keter entity contained. You know the drill. Oh, and if I were to do if I knew O5 and ethics would approve a test, I would bump testing SCP-729-J with SCP-4521 to make it scream. If I can get approval for that, I'm sure that's the answer. AEIOU, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a melanade on your way past the commissary. Is the best way to make a hoax making YouTube vids? Not sure I know what you're getting at there, but YouTube videos edited to be hoaxes are a very popular way of mimetic spread of internet hoaxes. So if you're doing some sort of ARG or hoax, I can't say YouTube videos are a bad way to do it. It's especially the shorts format, which is far more viral. But on top of which, yeah, I would need more details, but that's a good way to start a problem. Be careful. That's so funny you said espresso lemonade. I now get that after watching one of your streams. Oh, congratulations, Lemon. Not everyone likes it, but I'm glad you're on board. It's good stuff. Luis Lisona, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a Klondike bar on your way past the commissary. If the minions were SCPs, how would they be contained? So the first thing we would have to do is designate a villain. We would have to, if you're familiar with SCP-1471-J, SCP-1471-J is the passive-aggressive meteorite. No, it's not. I've got the wrong one. SCP passive-aggressive meteor. You know, there's too many SCPs. I can't know all the designations by heart. 1417-J. So it's not 1471, it's 1417. 1417-J is the passive-aggressive meteorite, which is a meteorite that just sits in the middle of the desert, and as long as you are pretending to do scientific study of it, running around with beacons and Bunsen burners, making sure to turn on the oscillators and reverse the positron flow, as long as you're play acting doing science about it, it's benign. But as soon as you do real science, which it finds boring, or if you ignore it, it starts doing pranks. And these pranks can get very violent and dangerous to the local townships surrounding the meteorite. So we need the Foundation's theater department to run theater drills of this anomaly so that it thinks we're taking it seriously. It's ridiculous. Also, there's a really good reading of passive-aggressive meteorite, SCP-1417-J, on the Site42 channel. And we have some guest voices on that video that you might find quite interesting. You see, we got SCP authors Radiger and Tanhoney on the voice part for our remastered version of 1417-J. So if you want to check that out, that's a good reading to check out. Very funny anomaly. But all of that to say, to contain the minions, intern Luis, we would need to designate someone to be our villain. And we would need them to be the most villainous villain in all the world. That way, the minions would chase them to this site, which we would use as a trap. If you think about Five Nights at Freddy's Pizzeria Simulator, where they lured all the animatronics into a maze they couldn't get out of, that's what we would do with the minions. We would get the most villainous villain, and we would use them to contain the minions. That's how we do it. We can't. SCP-5004-B is president right now. That's why we need to get someone to pretend to be the most villainous villain, because we don't have access to SCP-5004-B right now. I get you, Sheeny. I get you. Sheeny, thank you for donating again as well. Can confirm sunscreen is key. Turning 40 at the end of August myself. Happy almost birthday to you. I'll join you at 40 in a year. Raise a glass. .078, I think. I get lost from mesmerizing so many SCP numbers, but I think it's the one girl that has unneedingly long hair, black skin, pointed asteroids heading towards Earth, and yellow symbols. You're talking about Nakmoe. You're talking about Salsasaur. Salsasaur SCP. That is SCP-179. And don't worry, even on this stream, I've had to rememorize and go searching for anomalies because there's just so many of them. So yes, numerical designations are pretty rough. But we do our best. We do our best. Silent Follower, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself an icy on your way past the commissary. Hey, just a quick hello again today. Thanks for giving me some inspiration to draw something with this cool new hair color of yours. Also, cool hair, if I must say so, Dr. Sherman. Well, thank you kindly. We got, the way we did it, and I'll come in close for the zoom, is you'll notice that at the base of both, there's the blue. And then that blue fades out to turquoise out here, and it fades out to purple here. So we got, as much as I push it back, we get more turquoise representation under the purple. We got the peacock theme. That's how we're rolling it. It's just a fun mix of colors. Looks good in nature. Looks good on me. Magical Fox, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a cookie on your way past the commissary. What if we use the Phantom Zone on SCP-682? See, we can't shove SCP-682 into a pocket dimension because it always comes back. It is William Afton-like in that way. And so wherever we shunt it, it returns because it wants us dead. So at least if we've got it in the acid bath, we know where it is. And we can continue trying to decommission it. If we hide it somewhere we can't find it, it will just come back to bite us in the ass, literally. Don't need that right now. What do you think of urban explorer Trevor Henderson? He himself has found no less than 44 entities. Intern Hallow, Trevor Henderson is a dope dude as far as I can tell. I've never met or talked to the man personally, but his art and his lore is fantastic. I also, in case you didn't see it, I released a video earlier this week, a short, about eating SCP-682 as infinite food source, which, first of all, we have an infinite pizza box. We have an infinite potato sack. We have many infinite foods that don't need to be the rotting, killer, lizard reptile thing. So A, gross. B, it's not like it would let us take the food. But during that video, I mentioned the infinite cow, which is on the wiki an image of Big Charlie. And that's because the author of that particular SCP-4158 got permission from Trevor Henderson to use Big Charlie for the image of 4158. So Big Charlie is not an SCP, but it is representative of an SCP on the wiki. Meanwhile, Siren Head, absolutely not an SCP. But a lot of people get confused about Trevor Henderson being mad about Siren Head being an SCP. It wasn't that Trevor was mad about it being called an SCP when it wasn't. The big problem was that lots and lots of people were jumping on the Siren Head thing and using it for commercial purposes without Trevor's permission or even crediting him. And that's what he was majorly mad at. Both the SCP Wiki and Trevor stamped down that, no, it's not an SCP, guys, leave it alone. And I know Trevor wasn't that mad at us because later on, when SCP-173's picture was taken down due to the copyright issue of it, Trevor was one of the many, many artists that made an alternate SCP-173 for the gallery on the wiki. So, I think you can't be that mad at us, I don't think. Chat is refreshing after my rant. Alright, chat is refreshed. Silent follower, thank you for donating again. It's very beautiful, and apologize for being more distant, being more silent, pun not intended. Hey, life gets in the way, man, and we're streaming daily at random times. So if the right time isn't the right time, I get that completely. It's not a big deal. We've been doing the streak now for 3 months and 2 days, and if you can't make every stream, more power to you living your real life out there. Take care of yourself. That's the most important thing. Magical Fox, thank you for donating again. Would Chuck Norris be considered an SCP? Depends on what universe you're in. Chuck Norris is just a mortal man, except for when it obviously isn't that. Some of those abilities are a little cracked, and in those cases, we would need to contain the bugger. The problem is, how would we do it? Ugh. This is coming. Checking something in the chat. Where is the person's response at? Can't find it. Oh, darn it. I hate when chat goes this fast and I can't find a question I wanted to answer. Handsome Jack, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Go ahead and grab yourself a whiskey neat on your way past the commissary. SCP-7058 is confusing me. Can you explain it? 7053, you say? Let's see if I can illuminate and elucidate. You said 7058. And so, before I go to 7058, I'm going to warn you, I accidentally typed SCP-7053, which is SCP-7053 codename Sherman the Turtle Tank. Sherman the Turtle Tank is a 28,000 kilogram, 4-meter tall giant tortoise. A portion of its shell, directly above the head, has a 105 millimeter M4 howitzer protruding out of its opening. It has 50 caliber Browning machine guns attached to the right side of its upper shell. It is capable of aiming and firing both of these weapons at will, and neither have a need for ammunition. Why is there a 4-meter, 30,000 kilogram turtle tank named Sherman, and I didn't know about it? It's a Blastoise with bullets. All right, okay. A new SCP Sherman tank anomaly has hit the timeline. Good to know. Thank you, Desk. Real quick, before I go to 7058, as was actually requested, Desk found me Trevor Henderson's version of SCP-173. This is Trevor's peanut replacement. And so, yeah, that's pretty hip, I think. Good work, Trevor Henderson. As if you need my thanks, because you make awesome art and everyone likes you. Cool guy. All right. So you wanted me to explain 7058. I am no longer distracted by the Sherman the turtle tank. Okay, the Jester King's Court, 7058. It's an extra-dimensional space which varies in shape, size, and contents, but typically takes the form of a medieval courtyard or coliseum. Space is only accessible via skin contact with a ticket labeled Admittance to the Jester King's Court, designated 7058-1. The tickets have the ability to multiply by converting nearby paper products into more instances, and the range of this conversion ability has proven to be proportional to the amount of nearby tickets that have come into existence. Usually once per week has been effective in keeping conversion radius minimum. So it's an extra-dimensional space if you get a ticket. It can rip you into 2 copies of yourself. One variation exhibits red pigmentation of skin, hair, and irises, while the other gets blue. So you get the red and blue versions of yourself, and only one version gets to leave court alive. The newly divided human guest is forced into a competition to the death with their identical twin. Rules such as weapons or types of weapons that may be available vary between iterations. Okay, so you get ripped into twins, and then forced to fight your twin to the death. And apparently, the point is that someone in the Foundation is trying to work against them because they think the testing is unethical. That's all. Putting people into the Jester dimension to get ripped apart and fight to the death is unethical, and that's what this guy wants to go with. So he's trying to work against the Foundation, which is treason, and we will have to correct that person. So thank you for bringing this to my attention. That way we can handle this breach of protocol, so to speak. Back to the chat, which is repopulating. The Dark, I'll give you my 1 intel per stream. We do not talk about the character known as Dr. Bright in the SCP community because of the really horrid actions alleged of Dr. Bright's creator. There's a video on this channel called The Last Death of Dr. Jack Bright that you can look at if you want more details. but that is why here at Site 42 we do not talk about that character anymore. It's difficult because it's a very popular character, but we're doing our part to diminish its weight in the community. Sheeny, thank you for another 10 memberships gifted. Jeez. Make sure to thank Sheeny for those donations if you get one of them. Thanks, Sheeny, for their generosity. Meanwhile, is that what, 20 memberships to Clef's 50 now? To get the Clef reading of prize people? 20 of 50, 30 to go. FNAF World, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a hot slice on your way past the commissary. What if an SCP got pregnant by a Class D? What would you do? Do I buy a cake in the cafeteria? Isn't there a private section for SCPs? FNAF is real. So let me handle this one piece at a time. No anomalies are getting pregnant because no one is fraternizing with anomalies. Not even the D class. Secondly, if they do, the D class is getting terminated for sure. And likely so is the pregnancy, because we're not going to have random, unpredictable anomalies spawned in a Foundation site. At least that is what our universe's Foundation does, which is very much a cold, not cruel, but actually kind of cruel universe. There's some universes where they might have pity and maybe would raise the child or something like that, but that's, I don't know, that's a lot of resources to spend, and I'm just not into that. We're already strapped for cash as it is. Silent Follower, thank you for donating again. Thank you. Still want to apologize, though. Hey. You live your best life. We'll be here when you get back. Downhammer, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a donut on your way past the commissary. Will 173 snap 096 or will 096 kill 173? 173 doesn't have eyes, so it can't activate 096, which means 096 would attack 173. Meanwhile, 173 would attack 096, meaning that by default, 173 is going to win. By the way, chat, we are currently at 188 likes and 189 viewers. If you hit that like button twice, we're going to have more likes than viewers. You can do it, Site 42 staff. Hit that button. We will drag new viewers into the SCP diaspora. Miasma. The miasma of SCP. That's what they'll be dragged into. That's how we get more fans of the SCP community. And you did it! Right on cue. Good work, Site 42 staff. Mobile Task Force Site 42, codename Signal Boosters. You did it again. Everyone gets a round at the commissary. Go right ahead. SCP-4521 in your universe. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Good to see you again. It's been a while. Grab yourself a cruller on your way past the commissary. Trees into chat Treely. Hello, Sherman. Just you wait, 4521. My acceptance of the ethics committee of using SCP-729-J on you is coming. And when it is, oh, you're gonna scream. You're gonna scream real good. FNAF World, thank you for donating again. What if an SCP site got taken over by Class Ds? I mean, we would send security staff to terminate them for their rebellion. There's no way we would allow that to stand easily. So, not that crazy. Unfailing Eagle, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a turkey leg on your way past the commissary. Good day, Dr. S-Man. Nice hair. I went down to Handsomeville and everyone knew you. Well, thank you kindly, Unfailing Eagle. Thank you kindly. We're rocking the colors today. Change of pace. Jonathan Peters, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a pint of Haagen-Dazs on your way past the commissary. I just became a member of the SCP Wiki. Time for me to, as appropriate, like articles. Anyways, I'm also in the process of doing a blood ritual. Congratulations on getting accepted to the SCP Wiki. Now, you got onto Wiki. And then applied to SCP, right? Because you gotta do both. Just checking. But if so, congratulations on your acceptance. Now, make sure to follow all the site rules so you don't embarrass Site 42. All the posting rules, all the voting rules and discussion. Be cool, man. Be cool. Zazzy, welcome to Mobile Task Force Captainship here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. Silent Follower, thank you for donating again. Much appreciated, thank you. I'll share some art when I eventually come back. We'll see. See you later, whenever I can, Sherman, until next stream. We'll see you next time. I'll be keeping the streak up, and once the streak finally falls, I will still do some streams, because this has been a good experience hanging out with you guys, so we're going to keep it up as best we can. I think it is doing a good job to take us in a new direction for Site 42 and to help us get bigger and better projects in the future. The streaming thing is really working for us, so I feel like if I can implement this into my video workflow, then we can balance both and have a real good time doing it. Sleepy Time Tea, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to get yourself some coffee on your way past the commissary. You look a little drowsy there. Not like drowsy the chatter, drowsy like sleepy. Do you know of SCP-983? Looking at the database here, that is the birthday monkey. A ring ding 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 ding, it's your birthday. Yes, so this is, remind me, this sings the song and it makes you de-age or age? Yeah, it ages you if you fail the song. So, yes, it is not a good thing to have the birthday monkey near you. I hate that thing. I do not need to be rapidly aged unless I can sing a song right, which, to be fair, I'm really good at singing songs. So I'd win. But for other people, I don't like that they're in danger just because they can't sing a cool song. And so, yes, I think that thing should stay in its box where it belongs. Jonathan, thank you for donating again. Activates aces and eights, Dr. Sherman. Did we figure out where Dr. Sherman would be in the aces and eights universe? I forget. Maybe it's because I've had COVID all week and my brain was broken. But I don't remember what Dr. Sherman would be doing in the aces and eights canon. He'd likely run a tavern. I could see that. Dr. Sherman, aces and eights, is a dentist. I am your dentist and a success. Okay, but I'd only be a tree dentist at that point. Yeah, that's crazy old Theron. He's out on the hills making that tree lots of grinds in it. Lots of deep cuts. He says the tree's gonna scream, but we don't know what he means by it. That's okay, he's not hurting anybody. Except for the tree. Oh, Senior Researcher Alex, I see you accepted your promotion. Congratulations. And you asked for a time check, too. We are currently at the 1 hour mark of stream, but since I am feeling a little more energetic, and since we've had short streams all week due to my COVID, and we're also going to have short streams for the next 3 weeks while I'm traveling. During the next 3 weeks, it's going to be coffee breaks, it's going to be guerrilla filmmaking. I'm going to be streaming from airports and hotels, so you'll see me whenever I have time, 30 minutes to an hour at a time. Let's get crazy this next couple of weeks, trying to keep the streak alive while traveling. That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting. But for that, we'll stay for the 2 hour mark today. The 2 hour mark today is fine. And by the way, since we're halfway through stream, why don't we do a Classicon entry? That's right, a Classicon entry. In case you don't know or forgot, Classicon is the current contest on the SCP Wiki, where over more than 170 articles were submitted, which is why we're having to bump up the 9,000 contest, because it's gonna hit 9,000 sooner, and then we will truly be over 9,000! Okay? I could do that, but my voice is not fully recovered yet. I did it for the meme. Need to be careful. Still not fully recovered yet. Ooh. Doing that might have taken me down to 30 minutes left in stream. Oh, little horse there. Nay. All right, so in case you didn't know about it, Classicon is the current contest. You have to submit a classic style article, meaning only 1,000 words or less, only minimal pictures, 1 to 3 pictures, don't go crazy. No crazy formatting, and it has to be at least horror adjacent, spooky. So we have classic Series 1 style articles here, and I am now scrolling up and down the Classicon menu. Oh, I need to refresh it so I get all the new articles too. So here is the list of articles. I am currently scrolling up and down. And here is the mousing up and down. We already read that one. I got Billith's article, SCP-7743 again. All right. Scrolling. And then scrolling. All right, this is, let me make sure I don't recognize this one. Okay, this one I definitely don't recognize. Okay, let me check the chat real quick before we begin it. Angel Chobat, thank you for donating again. May I ask why the one SCP you talk about with disgust is a problem? Thank you for your attempted censorship there. What I would suggest is reading the article for SCP-729-J, and you will very quickly understand why it's a problem. Just a cursory read of that rather short article will tell you why that thing, that thing gets exactly the reception it deserves. I'll tell you what. Starbricks, thank you for donating again. What about Sin from Murder Drones? Oh, I remember cursory research on this anomaly. Main antagonist, worker drone. Eldritch form. So here, it says that the entity is defeated by tossing it in a black hole and using the core of, and destroying the core of the entity. So, considering the level of violence it is intending to do on the universe, I assume that decommissioning is the only way to take care of it, and they have a perfect way to do it right there in the show. So I don't see any problem with that plan. Do it. If they've got a containment procedure in the show, I'm interested. I mean, that makes my job a lot easier. Baconhead Eating for Fun, thank you for your first 5 donated memberships of today's stream, as well as being a member yourself. If you get one of those memberships, make sure you thank Baconhead Eating for Fun for that gift. And that means we are 25 of 50 SCP Site-42 memberships gifted in order to get Desk to read the SCP Classicon entry Prize People as Dr. Clef, with all the giddy giggling that absolute bastard would have watching people get pulled apart like toys there. Mentally Lost, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a snow cone at the commissary. That thing wants a tea party, shall we permit? No! Absolutely not. Come on now. And Downhammer, thank you for donating again. What is the best way to defend a person from 096? Full mental lobotomy, honestly. I mean, they're not going to be the same anymore, but they will not die. I guess that's a bonus. I mean, you're pretty screwed either way. All right. So, let's go on to our Classicon entry of the day. Classicon entry of the day, before I forget. Oh my god. Quite a lot of table there. Okay. Let's start at the top and we'll see how we like this. The SCP is SCP-8625, codename A Little Peak, by SCP author Larntech. Let's take a look. Item number, SCP-8625. Object class, safe. Special containment procedures. SCP-8625 is to be contained in a standard safe class storage locker at site redacted. Testing is prohibited until further notice. That has been scratched out and replaced with usage of SCP-8625 as a tool for interrogation is currently under consideration. See Addendum 8625.3. Okay. Interrogation anomaly, you've got my interest. Description. SCP-8625 resembles an unbranded stainless steel microwave oven. It is constructed similarly to a standard microwave oven except in the following ways. Its edges are connected seamlessly with no screws or other connectors apparent in its design. No part of its body protrudes beyond its dimensions, 45 by 70 by 50 centimeters. It lacks a power cable. Its 7-segment display has a limit of 6 digits instead of the typical 4 digits of a standard microwave oven. The only buttons present are 10 buttons numbered 0 through 9 and 2 buttons labeled Stop and Start. The door cannot be opened until the following conditions have been met by the primary individual interacting with SCP-8625, hereafter referred to as, quote, subject, in which case it will open automatically, displaying done with the D lowercase and the O capitalized, with the alternating letters capitalized starting with the O. So it's lowercase d, capital O, lowercase n, capital E, displayed on the 7-segment display. The subject must input 6 valid digits, see Addendum 8625.2, and the subject must press Start. If the input is invalid when Start is pressed, the door will remain closed and the display will read Error, with the E and O, again, only capitalized. If at any point Stop is pressed, the display will clear, the door will close, and any current instance of SCP-8625-A will demanifest. When opened, the interior of SCP-8625 will contain a 30-centimeter wide white ceramic plate. This plate will hold an assortment of edible components, referred to as SCP-8625-A. The temperature of each SCP-8625-A instance, as well as the temperature of each present component, can vary, ranging from -20 Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius at time of retrieval. The contents of the plate differ depending on the subject's input, as well as on the subjects themselves. Addendum 8625.1, Discovery. At 12:44 p.m. on February 19, 1997, a report was filed in Lake Creek, Virginia, noting a, quote, haunted microwave at the residence of a John Ootman. Upon questioning, Ootman claimed that he'd found SCP-8625, quote, smack dab in the middle of my attic a few days prior. He reportedly, quote, punched some random numbers on the interface, and upon pressing Start, found the interior of the microwave to be empty save a white ceramic plate. When the plate disappeared upon closing the microwave door, Ootman reached out to local authorities, at which point the report was intercepted by a locally embedded Foundation agent. Ootman was amnesticized and 8625 was brought into Foundation custody for testing. Alright, now we're going into testing logs, and this is a lot of logs. So let's see how we go, people. All right, so the following tests were all done on February 21st, 1997, with the same D class, D30198. So all of the dates and the subjects are the same, so I'm going to start with input. Input 149023, output error. Input 1, output error. Input 594844, output error. Input 111995, output. One slice of yellow cake with white frosting and lines of blue frosting, indicative of writing, 18 degrees Celsius. Notes, subject was prompted to input a number that was personally significant. The next number was 121995, and it returned one bowl of SpaghettiOs at 32 degrees Celsius. On 131995, it got an error. On 021997, one bowl of plain oatmeal, 39 degrees Celsius, one ripe banana, 23 degrees Celsius, one small carton of whole milk, 5 degrees Celsius. Notes, the -A instance directly corresponded to the monthly breakfast offerings at the site-redacted cafeteria. At 021997, the same result as the previous test. On 031997, one slice of meatloaf, 55 degrees Celsius, 4 broccoli florets, 53 degrees Celsius, one serving of mashed potatoes, 57 degrees Celsius. Notes, the subject hesitated. Request to consume -A instance denied. Senior Researcher Owens. And then the last test with this particular D class, 041997, error, and the subject refused further testing. All right, so that's our first test, our first test set. Let's continue on. 2 days later, the 23rd in 1997, Junior Researcher Spiegel did this test. 112002. The result was a whole roasted turkey, 72 degrees Celsius. Notes, subject reprimanded for accessing SCP-8625 outside of approved testing. Senior Researcher Owen signs. All right. So now we have all of these next tests are on the 24th of February, 1997. D44036 does the first 2 tests. 071997 got an error, and D44036 put in the number 017, or the same number, 071997, but Senior Researcher Owens pressed start instead of the D class. It also returned an error, and the subject was dismissed, which means that Senior Researcher Owens is doing all the tests for now. After putting in 071997, he got a cheeseburger with cheddar cheese, lettuce, tomato, mustard, and ketchup, patty registered at 59 degrees Celsius. After putting in 012000, various shreds of skin, 35 degrees Celsius, one dish containing 5 milliliters of blood at 37 degrees Celsius. And the DNA testing confirmed 100% match with Senior Researcher Owens. Why? And now Senior Researcher Owens does 4 tests in a row that come up error. 012200, 122199, 112199, 102199. All of these come up error and no response. 3 days later, February 27th, 1997, Senior Researcher Owens, you saw nothing, put in 042010 and got 1 cyanide pill at 23 degrees Celsius. Subject removed SCP-8625 project due to irresponsible use of an anomaly. Testing postponed until new project lead can be assigned. Signed, Site Director Akagi. So, hypothesis break. First of all, intern Gully and Waters, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. So this is giving you a meal related to your day of the date you put in the microwave, right? Is that where we all are on this right now? Now, why was there shreds of skin and a vial of blood, or a dish of blood? Why did senior researcher Owens eat that? That's weird. Either way, we're moving on from senior researcher Owens, and now senior researcher Spiegel is going to take over. It seems that junior researcher Spiegel has been promoted. So here we go. Uh-oh. On March 18th is when all of the current tests are taking place. Senior researcher Spiegel put in 1/1/2002, one whole roasted turkey, 72 degrees Celsius. Notes, serves him right, uptight asshole. Signed, senior researcher Spiegel. Spiegel, that is very unprofessional to put in the documentation for this anomaly. What are you doing? The next test researcher Spiegel did was 042010 and got 1 dozen assorted hors d'oeuvres, 23 degrees Celsius. The next test was 072020, 1 pint of generic chocolate ice cream, negative 18 degrees Celsius. The next test was 012040, got 1 wrapped energy bar, words Nutribar printed on front, words it keeps you going printed on the back, 23 degrees Celsius. Senior researcher Spiegel notes, the hell is even in this thing. Senior researcher Spiegel tests 022040, 1 drip bag of IV fluid on 23 degrees Celsius. No notes. The next 3 tests, 032040, 012050, and 013000, all return 1 empty plate. And then, one last test, 019999, also got 1 empty plate, but resulted with the subject being removed from the test again, this time due to recent irrational behavior posing a threat to his continued well-being. Signed off on by Site Director Akagi. So, I guess you found the date you are close to death. Now, Addendum 8625.3, Informal Proposal. On March 20th, 1997, 1 day after being admitted to a Foundation mental health facility to recuperate from recent behavior, Foundation employee Dennis Spiegel gave the following note to another employee who brought it to the attention of Site Director Akagi. That thing knows too much. It knows something we don't. I know the Foundation wants to know as much as it can. Well, here's your chance. Open that thing and see if you still want to learn after you see whatever's in it. Further research is required to verify Spiegel's claims. Okay. And now to clarify completely, the author has given us a clear spoiler at the end. So let's hear what the author has to say about their piece. This is their first SCP article. Not bad, Larntech, not bad. The first 2 of the 6 numbers correspond to month and the last 4 to a year. That makes sense. The microwave reaches into the past, present, or future of the subject to select the most personally significant meal that the subject had during the given month of the year. Here's some explanations for the more esoteric results. The skin and blood coincided with YIIK, meaning the most meaningful meal Owens had during the entire month of January was nervously peeling away at his own skin, his paranoia getting the best of him. What is YIIK? I am unfamiliar with yick. The excessive test logs are another instance of Owens' paranoia, with him working backwards trying to find out what his last meal is, which turns out to be a cyanide pill. With the energy bar, things get a little more abstract. It's meant to be assumed that in the future, after Spiegel eats this thing that keeps you going, he becomes comatose and is hospitalized for a month, hence the IV drip. Every log after that into as far as the microwave can reach turns up an empty plate rather than an error because Spiegel will never eat another meal in his life. That energy bar never really said how long it'll keep you going. Yeah, I think overall, I like the anomaly. But I don't think the story it's telling is finished. I think there's more to it than just, like, finding out when you're going to die in the microwave. They could have done some really weird stuff with this. Could have got some alien food or something. Yick equals Y2K. Okay, thank you, Intern Pharaoh. I appreciate the explanation. That didn't make sense to me. Yeah, I'm gonna no vote on this. I want to see it. It's good enough that I'm not gonna downvote it, but I do want to see it changed around somehow. I want to see it get weirder. But okay, let me go back to the chat and refresh it. Let's see what I missed during that reading. First of all, Downhammer, thank you for donating again. What will happen if SCP-682 escapes from the facility and gone to the city and destroy it? What will you do? Think about this for a second. If SCP-682 escapes, we need it to go and get it. Especially if it's destroying a city. We need to stop it and contain it and then amnesticize the people who saw it and blame it on a gas line explosion or something. Come on, think. This is easy stuff here. All right, Sheeny, we'll see you later. Thanks for joining us, and thank you for your donated memberships toward the cause, toward Clef's reading, as well as the battle against the white names. I do like the idea of the skin being considered a meal because the researcher was nervously chewing his skin. Yep, that's fair, Puppet Boy. I do appreciate that for sure. Time check. We are 80 minutes into this stream, and we are going for another 10 to 40 minutes. My microwave keep making a beep sound when I'm not cooking nothing. Well, usually you have to open and close the door or cancel the timer. Probably. Can I have a ticket for the SCP petting zoo for 682? Obviously, 682 is not allowed at the super cool petting zoo. Again, think. It's not that hard. Logic. Used to be we hired the best of the best. Jeez. Dun, 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 dun. I created my own SCP, but I can't publish it because I don't know how. Well, intern fan, you need to start by going to the SCP Foundation's main page. And on SCP Foundation's front page, in the upper left corner, you'll see a box called Getting Started. And if you read the Guide for Newcomers, Join the Site, Contribute, FAQ, and Universe Hub, you will learn how to submit an SCP the proper method. That is your job to do. I can't give you any more details than that. You have to find your way down this road. I can lead the horse to water, but I can't make it drink. I can lead you to the guides, but I can't make you read them. Do you know about the weird nature of the number 23? Ah, yes, Intern Hot Tea. The number 23 it's a pop culture pseudoscience superstition. It's nothing special. Anyone can connect anything to anything with enough pieces of red yarn. So you don't have to worry about 23. It's not anomalous. Now, there are other anomalous numbers, but not that one. For instance, SCP-Y is a finite mathematical set of numbers. The most accurate definition of SCP-Y can be roughly defined as all numbers which do not exist. So there you go. That's a bunch of anomalous numbers right there. You saw nothing. What happens if SCP-096 goes into SCP-3008? He is not the pronoun you use there. It's it. SCP-096, as well as all other SCPs and anomalies, are objects, not people. Don't humanize them. That's how people get to start feeling sorry for them, because we torture them by containing them against their will or testing on them unethically. It's very ethical what we do. We need to protect the world from these anomalies, which is why you have to steal your will and not humanize the anomalies. They are objects, not people. SCP-096 is an it, not a he. Please practice proper pronoun parlance protocols at the Foundation. Thank you. And no, we're not putting 096 or any other anomaly into SCP-3008 for one simple reason. The door moves, which means if we go in there, we can't get out reliably. Meanwhile, something infinitely lived like 096 or 682, which live maybe not infinitely, but basically immortal, when they're in there, they're statistically likely to accidentally stumble upon the door and get out. And especially in the case of 096, who can sense people who've seen their face, its face, if you put 096 to get lost in there, number one, it's going to kill a lot of survivors, which is just mean. That's unethical. And on top of which, when 096 senses someone from our dimension has seen its face, it will find the door on its route to them. So that's not even a good containment procedure. You got to think about this, people. Come on. Come on. I'm a D class. Why should I care about pronunciation with anomalous monsters? Because I'll terminate you if you don't. What the hell is a D class getting sassy with me? Hi, Dr. Sherman, loving the hair colors. Thank you, Intern Wampole. Dr. Sherman, some guy named Noah D is trying to get into the site. Should I let them in? I am not familiar with this individual. Do they have any sort of identification? I'm waiting for a explanation from from Senior Researcher Frogman, but in the meantime, can 096 draw? Intern animation? No. 096 is barely sentient. It just sits there and cries and eats hot chip and does crime. I'm kidding about the last two. It just sits there and cries. I think he's just some nobody. Then please wave them into the south entrance, where some security staff will be happy to escort them to a waiting area that is not at all a containment cell. Totally not a containment cell, I tell you what, for sure. What if SCP-682 broke out and built a city for humans to be comfortable? I don't think SCP-682 would ever do anything benevolent like that. It's not a hypothetical I'm going to entertain for that reason. Puppet Boy. I honestly thought it was going to be a Noah's nuts joke, not going to lie. I was kind of waiting for that. Can't lie. 25 of 50 chat. 25 of 50 donated memberships. Clef will do that reading of Puppet of prize people if 25 memberships more are donated. That is what Desk has laid the gauntlet on the table for. We have 30 more minutes to make that happen. Intern Beatty, what is the original SCP? Well, you have SCP-173, which the pataphysical authors above us in narrative level, they wrote SCP-173 first, so you could say that's the original SCP. But in our timeline canon, if we're not talking pataphysically, it would probably be one of the SCP-001s, unless those are all a distraction from the actual 001, which is in an innocuous place somewhere in the database. You could also look time-wise. For instance, we have some SCPs that date back to caveman days and earlier. So those anomalies are obviously older than recorded time anyways. I mean, hell, the sun is an anomaly at some places. Dr. Sherman, someone made a pun and SCP-504 is going wild. What should I do? Intern Salen, you should run. Because if 504 doesn't immediately go for the pun maker, it is going to do some crazy things once it's done winding up. Get out of there and get down. That thing's about to go nuclear. Wow, so the original SCP might be as old as one's god? Intern Beatty, it is highly possible the first anomaly is older than all the gods. Depending on how the stratosphere of the universe's makings played out, it is very possible that the first anomaly that existed is at the source of everything. Desk, the true god of SCP Wiki is not Clown Milk Jesus. Clown Milk Jesus Christ. It's not even on the database. Clown Milk Jesus. Oh. We all know Bread Jesus is the best Jesus. Puppet Boy representing 3305. It's not on the wiki yet. Junior researcher Sally, I swear to 343. But only because I am that angry that I would swear to a fake god rather than actually dignify the coming of Clown Milk Jesus. Oh. Ugh. Norma says, Vor Jesus is the best of the Gzi. You know, not bad, not bad. It's a fun little theme park if you could get some of the rides working. I don't know if this has been asked, but can SCPs be seen on cameras or on phones or on Polaroids? I think I saw SCP-999, or maybe I'm going crazy. Well, many SCPs are very easy to photograph. They're not anomalous in that way. There are certain anomalies that can't be photographed for one reason or another, but no, it's just, you can take a picture of them. They're not going to show up in pictures that you don't take of them. So if you took a picture at random, it's not like a random SCP is going to show up in the picture, but take a picture of 999, a picture of 999 exists. On that note, how's the loop fish? Intern Stone, SCP-5320 is not a loop. It's infinite. It's the fish that just goes on forever and ever. Our long and glorious Lord. May we find the head or the tail. It is not a loop. What is the biggest SCP? Intern Stewardson, I don't know the whole database by heart, but the likeliest SCP to be the largest, not counting any infinite SCPs because that's cheating, and we don't even know if they're actually infinite, because you know what? We have so many infinite anomalies on this planet. 3,000, 5320, both infinite fishes. The ocean isn't full of them. So are parts of them going into pocket dimensions and coming back out? They can't be infinite if they're not filling up the entire oceans and the planet's surface. So something's fishy there. And not just because 3000 and 5320 are both fishes. But, that being said, I would believe that the SCP-5909, which is a crustacean, a shrimp, measuring 2.1 light years in length, is probably the largest SCP. Because it is a 2.1 light year long shrimp. SCP-5909 if you want to check it out. Have you thought about maybe the ocean is infinite? I'm just dropping the idea here. Our planet has a designated diameter. The oceans can't go down to the core. We know where the crust of the Earth is. Now, there's a lot of anomalies in the ocean, to be sure, and things we haven't found yet. Hell, there's things that normal scientists haven't found in the ocean regarding normal things. So, who knows what the hell's down there at the deep? I, for one, don't want to deal with it at all. Ocean, not my problem. Tell me we can eat the SCPs. No. Absolutely not. Unless it's designated like the infinite pizza box for a pizza party. No. We do not destroy anomalies. Isn't there an SCP about a beach by the ocean being made of cake? Why, yes, Desk, there is an SCP that is a beach that's entirely made out of cake. That would be SCP-5542, one of my SCPs. To be frank, one of my underappreciated SCPs, because I frankly think it's knocked out of the park, and I just think people don't understand it, which is probably my fault as a writer. But I still think it's pretty clear. And yes, Aoki, that anomaly is named Cake by the Ocean in relation to that song. SCP-5542, codename Cake by the Ocean. Dr. Shepard. Okay, I do not work at Grace Sloan Memorial Hospital. Thank you. Why can we shove all the anomalous dangerous SCPs into the infinite IKEA? I mean, what's the harm of getting rid of 179096682? I just told you. Because those things are immortal. Which means even if the door moves around at random, they are statistically certain to run it to the door at some point and get out. So yeah, it's a terrible idea. They will escape, and then we won't have control of them. Come on, think. Would hell or its inhabitants be considered an SCP? We have several manners of dealing with demon-style anomalies. Those that are, many of those demonic containment procedures come with our work with SCP-4357-J, codename Cooperative Demon. So we have very thorough containment procedures for Heliens due to our work with that anomaly. If you want to check out SCP-4357-J, it's a banger article. Very funny. Starbricks, thank you for donating again. Oh, and my browser reset. Give me a moment and I will answer that donation. Waiting. How would y'all try to contain the Elders from XCOM 2? The Elders from XCOM 2. Elders. Controlling Advent and responsible for the Avatar Project. Signing of the Great Accord in July 2015 are essentially its greatest benefactors. Psionic beings. Present posterity to the races they encounter. Integrating into the Empire. Elders are selfish parasites that conquer entire worlds in search of a cure for themselves. The entire ethereal species is uniquely afflicted by a form of rapid muscular degeneration. Their physical forms are no longer capable of containing psionic energy that is the Elder's lifeblood. All the servant races are After the attack on the alien fortress beneath the Pacific Ocean, the Elders are effectively wiped out. Well, I imagine we would start by negotiating with them if they're making deals and stuff like that. We would start there, and when negotiations went out, we would probably do something to block them off. I see they're already dying due to a degenerative disease, so maybe we would find a way to just exaggerate that in a way that threatened them so they might leave. Because our goal is maintaining normalcy on Earth, so we don't want them on Earth. So we meet them in the stars, we try to make a deal. If it doesn't work out, then we can kick them to the curb. A lot of... I wonder how many science fiction anomalies we have where we're actually out in the stars. SCP Ad Astra is a good canon for space stuff. It's a whole lot of space stuff. Okay, well that's what I would think that would work out as in canon anyways. By the way, as a time check, we are 15 minutes from the end of stream. 15 minutes from the end of stream. VW, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a corn dog on your way past the commissary. What will the Foundation do with D19371, Yellowcaked, on YouTube? I am unfamiliar with that anomaly, that D class. I'll have to look into it real quick. Intern Jess, I do not only answer questions from donations, I do answer non-donated questions in between. In fact, Donations have been a bit slow today, to be honest, so I've been answering a lot of non-donated questions. It is just that, you know, donations get priority because they paid money, so that makes sense, right? Okay, yellow cake YouTube. All right, well, that didn't work from Google, so let me go to YouTube directly. Yellow caked. Okay, I think I've seen this animation style before. Interesting. All right, I'll have to look into this guy because looks like he's got a fair amount of stuff going on. I might have to do some research on this one. So I hold my judgment in the meantime. Nice hair, Doctor. Well, thank you, Junior Researcher HLG. We're going peacock for a little while. I have united SCP and Deltarune fans, yay. Well, Intern Spamton, that's not shocking. They're basically a Venn diagram of nerds that's very overlapping. They are definitely the type. Angel Chobat, thank you for donating again. Have you seen the original story the infographics made for the Plague Doctor? I have not. And when you say the original story, is this one video or a series of videos that you're talking about? We've gone peacock, approaching ludicrous speed. Nice, Hunter. Nice. But at least we're not going to plaid. Dr. Sherman, how good is SCP-096's dance moves? Well, Intern Doom, it depends on the universe. Most of the time, not really. But in certain universes, where 096 is given the Overcoming Shyness book from the Tenda Village, 096 has overcome its shyness and instead became a TikTok dance influencer. And so that was a lot. And I gotta admit, it did have very good moves. Angel Chobat, thank you for donating again. Just one. So, SCP explained. Plague Doctor. So is this their, tell Desk the title of the video you're talking about, because they made a lot of videos about the Plague Doctor. Plague Doctor has an evil twin. What is actually the pestilence? The Plague Doctor, everything you need to know. And I'm sure there's even more past that. So is there a particular video you're talking about? VW, thank you for donating again. To make it easier for you, he survived and may be befriended SCP-682. Did some therapy for 096, danced with the Infinite Staircase SCP, and now knows everything about the universe. Huh. Some sort of... Sounds a little Mary Sue-ish, but, you know, you can't get away from that with SCP-OCs. There's always a little bit of that. Every person goes a little Mary Sue on their own character. You gotta learn how to control that. McCall, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Where's the shark dude? Captain T is probably out there somewhere chugging sharks and punching brewskis or something like that. Dr. Ledoux, thank you for gifting 5 Site 42 memberships. If you get one of those memberships, make sure to thank Dr. Ledoux for their generosity. And as a reminder, that means we are 30 of the 50 goal to have Desk record the SCP article prize people as Dr. Clef. And so if 20 more memberships are gifted in the next 8 minutes till the end of stream, 20 gifted memberships to reach Desk reading that as Clef. Intern Personal, consider yourself noticed. Sir Pidgeoth, good to see you. Thank you for being a member, and glad you like the hair. It's feeling pretty cool. Okay, what was I looking at here? And the recording totally will not backfire and embarrass Dr. Sherman on multiple levels. How is you reading the prize people going to embarrass me? That's horrifying. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? That is a tight window to meet the goal. Well, it started very early in the stream. It's just that we're reaching the end of stream. So I can only do the best I can. This is between you guys and Desk. I'm just here yapping away. Do you have any more questions for me in the last now 6.5 minutes of stream? Hey, Dr. Sherman, love the hair. As you can tell from my avatar, I'm quite fond of those colors myself. It is a very good color scheme. Appreciate it. Good color liking to yourself as well. Raymond, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself an ice cream cone on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, I know the Foundation limits what we can do with SCP-914. Have you personally done any experiments with it? Any interesting results? Yes, the Foundation does limit testing with 914. People get very out of sorts with it. And in fact, one of my experiments is why the chat is named what it is today. Don't judge me. I don't like the way it's looking at me. I was there for the SCP-914 experiment where they tested it on 5 Furbies. And I'll have you know, I did not appreciate it. I was not a fan of what turned up. That thing is staying in its little box until it stops staring at me. Okay? I think it's rude, and I don't want it let out. if you go to the experiment log 914 and you search Furby in the control F, oh, I forget which part it was part of. Let me... Oh, and I also need to go look at what Angel asked about with the origin of 049 on Explained real quick. But before I do SCP-914 Furby test. It's in part 15. Control F, Furby. So we put the first Furby in on rough, and it was completely crushed and melted. We put the second Furby in on coarse, and we got neatly arranged piles of plastic, and the circuitry and other electronic parts were laid out in order of size. We put in a Furby 1-to-1, and we got a lizard plushie with similar circuitry and use as the Furby. When we put a Furby in on fine, the Furby would, its eyes would follow you wherever you went. Regardless of physical obstructions or battery power in the electronics, even if you don't know the Furby is there, you feel watched. It's freaky. Ugh. And then the last one created, we put it in on very fine, and it created an entire mimetic cognitohazard effect that messed with everybody and made us feel that a Furby was trying to take over the world or destroy the world. That was a whole day. So we just keep that Furby in its box, thank you. Junior Researcher Sally, thank you for your member message. Have we tried a cross experiment with 729-J? And 682? If you read the log for that thing, you'll see the test we ran. Very specifically, 682 was neutralized, and we redacted what happened. So, now let me look at this SCP Explained that Angel pointed out. 049 Origin. SCP Explained. What is the pestilence? Everything you need to know. The Plague Doctor captured. Origin of the Plague Doctor. Or SCP-049 SAD. Origin story. Nope, that's a Dr. Bob. Nope, and that's from SCP Animated, not SCP Explained. Yeah, I am sorry. There's so many SCP-049 articles on SCP Explained, and none of them say origin exactly. So I'm still not sure what you're talking about yet. Sorry, Angel. If you can send Des the link, I could peek at it real quick before stream ends, although we are literally in the last 30 seconds of stream, everyone. So get your last questions in before I start doing the sign-off. Dr. Sherman, I have a victory. I passed 300 subscribers today. Congratulations, Junior Researcher America. Do your best. Create. What is the Furby in the thumbnail? Intern Silly Buddy, I just explained it. Go back about 5 to 10 minutes in the stream. Have you played Deltarune, Dr. Sherman? I have not played Deltarune, although I have watched a lot of lore videos. So, I am quite familiar with the scenario over there. Looking forward to seeing how those spatial anomalies are taken care of. Doc, can I put you in the Here Comes Johnny meme? Well, I don't know what that is, but sure. I don't see a problem with that. All right, Site 42 staff. It looks like I'm not getting any extra intel from Angel, unfortunately. We'll have to wait to see what exact video that was about later, I guess. In the meantime, Sonic and History Lover, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. And we have made it to the end of stream. So as always, tradition at the end of stream is I tell you my favorite SCPs. Now, I'm not going to tell you the SCPs that I wrote are my favorites. That's cheating. But if you do want to read the SCPs I wrote, you can go to the Sherm's Site 42 hub and author page on the SCP Wiki. There you can see all the SCPs I have written, as well as some donation links. You can become a patron or a channel member. If you want to donate monthly, you can donate via Ko-Fi or YouTube Super Chat if you only want to donate once at a time. But even if you cannot directly donate at all, as long as you are a viewer of this channel, as long as you are watching the streams, watching the videos, liking, sharing, subscribing, all that YouTube business, then you are a member of Mobile Task Force Psi-42, codename the Signal Boosters. And it's because of your epic help that we are able to bring people into the SCP community through the algorithm, as well as signal boost excellent SCP projects either by myself or by other SCP content creators with smaller platforms. When that teen ad, There Is No Anti-Memetics Division miniseries came out, you guys went there like clockwork. And the more people we get there, the more the algorithm boosts them, the more these creators in the SCP community get eyes on them and get money, and that helps them to make bigger and better projects and want to stick with the SCP community to do it. So Mobile Task Force Psi-42, codename Signal Boosters, I may just be the captain, but you guys are here, and you are the real team, so I appreciate your service. Now, without further ado, my favorite SCPs in no particular order are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5175, SCP-5320, and SCP-8980. Trigger warning on that last one, it's a rough one. Speed round. 3999-3043-008-J, Spooky-J, 5031, 5175, 5320, and 8980. Content warning on the last one. Woof. Where was that there? 30 of 50, give me 5 more and we can make a deal. Desk, if you donate, or chat, if you donate 5 more memberships, Desk will take it and make the reading. Junior Researcher Sally, you don't know, like the horror movies The Shining? Oh, okay, that Here's Johnny. That's so old I didn't even register it as a meme. I just recognize it as the clip from the movie. But yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, okay, that's cool. That's cool. I'm sure I've got some crazy faces for that. Scrolling back down the chat real quick, making sure I've covered all my bases. All right, fantastic. So, that is our end of stream traditions all done. This has been another Dr. Sherman coffee break, office hours. We're kind of bridging the gap here. I hope you have learned a great deal about the SCP universe. I hope you've had fun. I hope you learned something. Be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll see you all in the next video and or stream. Nexus Striker, thank you for subscribing to Site-42. Welcome to staff. I can't stand to fly. I'm not that naive. I'm just out to find a better part of me. I'm more than a bird. I'm more than a plane. I'm more than some pretty face beside the train, and it's not easy to be me.